Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the NBA Draftkings. This is the early slate, so this is only the early slate. I do have a video later coming out for the late slate. There's the early slate 2:30 and a late slate 7:30, so pay attention for that video as well. But this is only the early slate, so if you're watching this after 2:30, yeah, go check out the later one. So this is this is the early slate. Three games. You have Minnesota and Atlanta. Um, Portland and San Antonio, and Miami and Detroit. A lot to get into. A lot of injuries in this game. I mean, literally only one team did not have an injury to talk. Oh no, wait, two teams had an injury not to talk about. So that's fun. We'll start with that. But before I do, if you're new here, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to that channel. Leave a comment. Tell me who you think the best play on the slate is today. I'll let you know as we go throughout the video. And turn on notification bell so you know when all my videos are out. I got college videos out as well, college basketball videos. NASCAR starts in a month, man. NASCAR's in a month. I love that sport for DraftKings. I'm excited for that as well. Daytona 500 is a month away, and the what that that first race at Daytona, I don't know. The Clash is in 3 weeks, so getting ready for that myself, and I know you guys are gonna want that as well. So be sure to stick around. If you want to get more of my content, you can always subscribe to my Patreon. I'll put the link in the description below. I have NBA stuff, college stuff. NFL is pretty much done, but then NASCAR stuff as well. So be sure to check that out. Let's go ahead and get into this where we're going to start talking about the injuries. And Karl-Anthony Towns is out for Minnesota. That is going to affect Naz Reid and Davis. I'd expect Naz Reid to probably start for him. It could be Ed Davis, but I assume Naz Reid will start and he'll probably get a lot of minutes, which is going to make him a pretty solid play. So then you got Juan Hernangomez also out for Minnesota. That's going to also give more minutes to Naz Reid and Ed Davis in that front court. I think Jared Vanderbilt probably gets more minutes as well as Josh Okogie. Josh Okogie might actually start, so be paying attention to that starting lineup. Ricky Rubio is also out for Minnesota, and I think that'll give some more minutes probably to Anthony Edwards as a guard. Jordan McLaughlin will probably get some more minutes, and Malik Beasley as well will probably get some more minutes. Just going to kind of spread out the minutes for him a little bit all around in the backcourt. So um, I don't think that one's as big of an injury as the other two are, but I do think that is somewhat important. Cam Reddish is questionable for Atlanta today. That's going to give a little bit more usage to DeAndre Hunter and Trae Young, as well as it's going to give more minutes to Kevin Huerter. Bogdan Bogdanovic continues to be out. If Cam Reddish plays, then that's going to give more minutes for him, as it will for Kevin Huerter. Jimmy Butler is out for the Miami Heat, and that's going to free some usage for Bam Adebayo and Goran Dragic, as well as some minutes for Andre Iguodala. Avery Bradley is out for the Miami Heat as well. That's going to give up some minutes for Kendrick Nunn and Gabe Vincent. Myers Leonard is also out for Miami. That's going to free up some minutes for Precious Ochua and Keisei Akpala. And then CJ McCollum is out for Portland. That's probably your biggest injury of the day because it's a new one. A lot of these guys have been out for a little bit. That's going to free up some usage for Damian Lillard, some minutes for Gary Trent, some minutes for Derrick Jones, and some minutes for Anthony Simons. That's a big one that we're going to talk about when we get into the plays for sure. And then Yusuf Nurkic continues to be out for his 8 weeks, which is going to allow Enes Kanter to start and Harry Giles to pick up some minutes off the bench. So that's pretty much all the injuries. For 3 games, that's a lot of injuries to get over, so that's fun. But that's really all I got on those. Let's get into the plays. We're going to start out with Clint Capella for the Atlanta Hawks versus the Timberwolves. Look, I love this spot. This game has an implied total of 227.5. That's the highest total game on the slate. Atlanta has an implied team total of 117.5, as Minnesota has an implied team total of 109.8. This game is going to have a pace of 104.85, which is going to be tied for the fastest pace game on the entire slate today. So this is going to be a game that I do like to target for sure. We're going to start off with Clint Capella. He's only $7,500, which is way too cheap. I have him for 37 minutes today. His usage is only 17.7, but that rebound rate of 23.7 is massive. That's what we like to do. He's in a fantastic matchup, especially without Karl-Anthony Towns. They're going to get undersized Naz Reid, undersized Ed Davis, just not good players going against Clint Capella all day. I think that's a great spot. I think this is going to be a spot where he absolutely smashes. I really, really like Clint Capella today. As I do John Collins, the other big man. I mean, if he gets some center run, I think he's in a very good spot as well. He's $7,200. I gave him 31 minutes. Usage rate 20.6 and a rebound rate of 13. I think he's also as well in a very, very favorable spot. Then you got Trae Young. He's $9,400. I gave him 39 minutes today. He has a usage rate of 32.5 and an assist rate of 42.9. That is going up a little bit with Cam Reddish off the floor if Cam Reddish were to miss today. So Trae Young, I mean, I think he just looks great. He's a little too cheap for me. He's got high usage, high assist rate. And this is a good matchup. Minnesota can't really guard anybody. We've seen Trae Young kind of struggling a little bit recently, so I'm looking for a bounce back spot today. This can definitely be a spot I like to attack. DeAndre Hunter, $6,100. He's going to have a nice little usage bump with Cam Reddish off the floor as well. I gave him 36 minutes today. He has a usage rate normally of 17.9, but it's going up to like 20 today. And assist rate 9.4 and a rebound rate of 10.1. Looks like a pretty solid play against the Wolves. If this is like a big slate, I probably wouldn't be too interested in DeAndre Hunter, but on a small slate, 3-game slate, I think DeAndre Hunter is pretty interesting. Kevin Herter is $5,700. I gave him 36 minutes as well. Usage rate 18.1, assist rate 18.2. If Reg were to miss, he's probably going to get some more minutes, which is what I mean. I haven't projected right now. These projections are with Cam Reg out. I didn't mention that, so yeah, all these projections are with Reg out. Obviously, Herter at 100 minutes will probably drop a little bit if Reg were to play. So we will see. Reg missed yesterday. This is a back-to-back. He had an ankle injury yesterday, so I'm a little interested to see if he's going to play because usually you see players sit out the back end of a back-to-back instead of the front end. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't know. We're gonna usually, I'm not used to seeing players with like actual injuries just going back to back, sitting on the first one. Like it's usually just for rest or whatever. But so we'll see what happens there. Pay attention to that news. It's kind of big. This is the first game of the day, the Hawks Bulls game, so we will know before lock, which is good. If Reg is in or not. Then you got the Miami Heat going against the Detroit Pistons, where we have Goran Dragic, Bam Adebayo, and Duncan Robinson are going to be the three that I'm interested in. This game has an implied team total of 218.5, which is the lowest of the day, with the Miami Heat having an implied team total of 111.7. Detroit Pistons only have an implied team total of 105.8, which is bad. As you see, there's only two guys I'm really interested on that game, on that team. But Goran Dragic, Bam Adebayo, and Duncan Robinson are pretty much all benefiting with Jimmy Butler being out today. Goran Dragic has a 30% usage rate with Butler off the floor. He is $6,100. I gave him 31 minutes today. He did come off the bench last game, and I expect that to continue. Tyler Hero is questionable today, but Spoelstra said he expects him to play, so I'm going to expect Tyler Hero to play today. If that changes, obviously some other stuff will change. Now, honestly, make Goran Dragic even better play, but at $6,100, I think he's going to get the minutes, and he has the usage to really be a great play today. Bam Adebayo has a 26% usage rate with Jimmy Butler off the floor. He's $8,800. I gave him 34 minutes today. Already has an assist rate 27.9 and a rebound rate of 16. This guy is pretty much one of the best players in the league, in my opinion. I love this guy as a center. He feels a little bit too cheap. I don't think Mason Plumlee is a solid defensive center, but I don't think Bam Adebayo should have a problem today in that matchup. Duncan Robinson's just a little too cheap for the amount of minutes he's going to play. Getting 35 minutes today, $5,900. He just hits some threes. He's a good play. Always a good tournament play is Duncan Robinson, in my opinion, because if he just gets hot from the three-point line, which he does a pretty good bit, then he absolutely smashes. So be paying attention to that one. This is someone I do like in tournaments. Then you got Jeremy Grant, Mason Plumlee for the Detroit Pistons. Jeremy Grant's 8,200. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. But I mean, he's just been great this year. I mean, he's having a career year. I gave him 35 minutes today. He's a usage rate of 26.1, assist rate 10.6, and a rebound rate of 19.3. That is really, really good for him. I do think Jeremy Grant is in a pretty solid spot. It just, I mean, he's a little expensive. I understand if you want to pay up for other players, like I'd rather pay $1,000 for John Collins, honestly. But Jeremy Grant does look good, and I don't think a lot of people will play him today because of how expensive he is, and the Heat are known as a good defensive team, but maybe not as much with all the players that are out right now. Mason Plumlee is $5,200. I have him for 28 minutes. He's got a nice assist rate. Mason Plumlee has an assist rate 19.1, which is kind of shocking, honestly. He also has a rebound rate of 18. He's a good play, $5,200. He's going to get the minutes. He's honestly in a size advantage against Bam, so there is that a little bit. But I mean, Bam's just Bam, so. But Plumlee looks good. I think he's a solid option for his price. Looks pretty solid. Now you got Anthony Edwards and Naz Reid for the Minnesota Timberwolves going up against the Atlanta Hawks. I expect Naz Reid to start in place of Karl-Anthony Towns today. Give him 28 minutes. Ed Davis gave like 16 or something like that. So Naz Reid's $5,000, 28 minutes. Usage rate 21.1 when no Towns, and assist rate 9.6 and rebound rate of 11.6. We've seen Naz Reid smash over and over and over again without Karl-Anthony Towns on the floor. Without Towns on the floor, he should probably be like $6,500 at $5,000. He projects out. It's really good value for me. This is someone I definitely want to get to. And Anthony Edwards as well at $4,600. I have him for 27 minutes. I gave him a little more minutes than usual because of Ricky Rubio being out. He has a usage rate of 26.1 and an assist rate of 12. We know what Anthony Edwards can do if he gets hot from the floor. He's going to be a great play. So this is going to be someone I definitely do have some interest in. Now we're going to go to the Portland Trailblazers going up against the San Antonio Spurs. This is going to be the game. This is going to be the team that I think has the most value because there is no CJ McCollum today. CJ McCollum is out indefinitely with a foot injury, which kind of sucks for them. I feel like Portland, this is 2 years in a row, they're just screwed of injuries. No Nurkic, no McCollum right now. Damian Lillard's got to carry again. Speaking of Damian Lillard, I gave him 40 minutes. He has a big usage bump without McCollum on the floor. Actually, it's really not that big this year, but I think we haven't really seen Lillard play an entire game without McCollum, so I do think his usage rate is going to be higher than normal today. He only has a 31.6 usage rate without McCollum on the floor, but I do think that's probably going to go up today. In 40 minutes, he's going to play a ton of them. A high assist rate to a 30.9. 9,900 feels a little bit too cheap for him. We've seen in the past without McCollum, with both these players, without one of them, without McCollum, Lillard pops off. Without Lillard, McCollum pops off. That's just what I'm expecting today. I think Lillard's probably a little bit too cheap. He's probably going to be a core player for me. Honestly, he's my favorite pay up play today. The only reason I didn't put him on the cover of this video is because I just put Lillard on the cover last week. I didn't want to just redo that. So Lillard is my favorite play today by far as a pay up option. Maybe not favorite value. My favorite value on a day is going to be Gary Trent. He's $4,000. I mean, I think he should start. I mean, it might be Rodney Hood that starts in place of McCollum, but I think Trent still plays more minutes. He's a better defender, better shooter at this point in his career. I gave him 31 minutes. He has a usage rate of 17.8 and assist rate of 7.3. He's a 3-and-D guy, but at $4,000, he's going to play all those minutes. He should hit value on a nice little 3-game slate. He's probably going to be really popular. That's fine. I do think Derrick Jones is also another good value to go to at $3,800. I think he's going to pick up some minutes without McCollum as well, as we saw in the last game when McCollum went down. Game 34 today. Yeah, he has terrible rates, 11.9, 3.1 assist rate, but at $3,800 with 34 minutes, I'll take that. That looks like a pretty solid option. Then Enes Kanter's the last guy in the Spurs I'm interested in at $6,300. He's starting for Nurkic right now. In 29 minutes, usage rate 18.7. His price has come up a little bit, so that's not great, but I do think he's still projected out as a pretty solid option. And then we got DeMar DeRozan, Keldon Johnson, DeJounte Murray, the three I'm interested in on the Spurs. I didn't really talk about this game. I didn't when we went to talk about Portland. It has a total of 224. Spurs have an implied team total of 113.1, which is the second highest on the slate. This game has the lowest pace though at 104.7, but it's not like it's literally 0.1 less than that game. So that's not really all these games. The pace doesn't really matter. In my opinion, they're all really similar. So DeMar DeRozan, Keldon Johnson, DeJounte Murray. He gave DeRozan 36 minutes. He's $8,900. He does feel a little bit expensive, but on a slate where there's not a ton of, I mean, there's just not a ton of different plays to get only 3-game slate. I think he's fine. Game 36 minutes. He has a usage rate of 24.3 and assist rate 29.5. He looks pretty solid to me. Keldon Johnson, $7,000. Keldon Johnson, man, if you knew me personally, I love that guy. Shout out Noah. He knows that Keldon Johnson's a G. Anyway, that guy's a stud. He's $7,000 now, though. That's expensive. 32 minutes, though. I mean, he's going to play a lot of minutes. He has a usage rate 18.9, assist rate 10.4, a rebound rate of 11.3. Look, he is a solid option. I wouldn't call him like a lock. Like, he's just kind of, if you're filling out lineups and you have a little bit extra salary, yeah, I'm fine paying for Keldon Johnson. I wouldn't call him a core guy, but I do think he is interesting. He has upside. He has 40, 50 point upside on Draftkings. So I always like to shoot for those guys. I do like to get someone like that into my lineups a ton. Then DeJounte Murray's $8,100. He's my favorite player in the Spurs today. I gave him 34 minutes. He has a usage rate 23 and assist rate 24 and a rebound rate of 11.2. All that stuff, all those grade out really well. It's very similar. He grades out well similarly to DeMar DeRozan. He's $800 cheaper. I think he just looks like a pretty solid play. But that's really all I got to say. Look, play 2 Hawks, maybe 3 Hawks. Hawks are the best team on the slate today. Love Trae Young, love Clint Capella. Play Damian Lillard. And then, I mean, you got some nice values to pick and choose from. Be sure to pay attention later on in the day for my late video. I mean, that honestly will probably come out in about an hour and a half. So if you're watching it in between that time, then pay attention for it. But thank you guys so much for checking this out. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and let's make some money today.